I'm In with the ARCC is brought to you by StoredTech, your technology, our passion. And now here's your host for I'm In with the ARCC, Amanda Blanton.
Welcome to I'm In with the ARCC. Thanks for tuning in today. I am your host, Amanda Blanton, Vice President, Marketing and Communications for the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce. And today my guest is Dr. Jeff Sawyer of Sawyer Family Chiropractic. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So on this show, I usually like to start with, a little background, right? You're a chiropractor.
Yes.
How did you get here? Take us back.
It's a good question, yeah. So inevitably, I think the short story is that I ended up with some back pain, but I was early 20s probably.
Okay.
I was working at McDermott's Harley-Davidson for a while.
Oh.
I had a motorcycle. I would go up to stoplights, and my back was in such spasm that I couldn't put my legs to the ground, so I would have to lay my chest on the tank of the bike in order to stand up and then push myself up. So I went through a bout of low back pain. I was at ACC just taking some business classes and inevitably went to see a chiropractor. And after a few adjustments and taking a wallet out of my back pocket while I was riding, it loosened up and haven't had issues since. So,
oh my gosh.
With the classes at ACC, I wasn't, economics and accounting and stuff really wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So I started taking some science classes, and I think that's when things really started to click. A&P up at SUNY Adirondack now, I'm sorry. But,
that's okay. We know what you mean. If you've lived here long enough, you get it, yeah.
But A&P up there is probably one of the hardest classes, I think, on the campus. And once I got in there, it was very easy for me to understand, and I wanted to learn it, which made it a lot different than most of the school that I had been through. So once you start learning about the body and other sciences too, it just kind of naturally progressed in this direction.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so how did your career as a chiropractor start? Because you didn't just open up your own practice.
No, so chiropractic, a lot of people ask this too. Chiropractic college is after your 4-year degree, or you can meet prerequisites to get into chiropractic college.
Sure.
So I ended up in chiropractic college. So after 4 years or 4 years of credits, you go for 3 1/3 years, but it's on trimesters. So basically, you could do 5 years of school, do your typical spring and fall semester, or you could go through the summers and just carry on.
Oh, you didn't do it, did you? You went through the summers?
Through the summers. So 3 1/3 years, I did a year of clinic work in Long Island, and I ended up back in Queensbury to practice, and then inevitably after 4 or 5 years started my own.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Just kind of on the fast track.
It seems that.
But you know what? When you figure out that's what you want to do, why wait, right?
Exactly.
And you started a family in that process as well.
I did. Yes. I came home from school. I think I was 26 or 27. My wife and I, Jenna, got married, and we have 2 kids. My daughter is almost 9, and my son is 7.
Wow, life goes by so fast.
It is fast.
And I notice family is in the name of the business. And a lot of us think chiropractic care might just be for adults, but it's not. It's right? Is it for people of all ages?
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. A lot of people think it's a pain-based modality that, we're here to help when you're in pain. And a lot of times it has to do more with wellness and making sure people are in tune, like their adjustments there, and that their spinal cord or their nervous system is functioning properly.
Yeah.
And that's really what we try to do.
Okay. Yeah. And so this is babies all the way up until whenever.
I think, what do they say? They say cradle to casket.
Okay.
Is some mantra around the profession.
Yeah.
But I think I actually have my biggest age gap right now as far as patients go. I'm currently seeing, and I just saw her yesterday, a 1-week-old baby.
Wow.
And my oldest patient is 98.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. I think the 98-year-olds.
That's great.
It's pretty crazy.
And when it comes to, babies, infants, and children and chiropractic care, what would be the reason for them to come visit you?
Yeah, so people see it in a couple different ways. You can have the mechanical stuff as far as like a torticollis where their head and neck are twisted in a direction and they find it hard and restricted to move that head in a different way.
Sure.
I think a majority of what I see with babies is the lack of sleep from parents because of colic, because of indigestion, acid reflux, or just not having proper gut motility, so they're not passing. And babies come in and they get better quick. And I love babies because a lot of people, we talk about misconceptions of chiropractic. I think a lot of people come in and they'll tell me whether they believe in chiropractic or don't believe in it.
Sure.
I like babies because they don't know anything that I'm doing. Right?
Yeah, they have no opinions yet. Yeah.
Right? They don't have to believe in me at all, but they get better and the parents start getting more rest. And it's rewarding. It's fun.
Yeah. And something interesting about chiropractic care, too, I've seen is in animals, too. And I know that's not your specialty.
It's not my thing, but I've seen it, too. It's pretty awesome.
But it's
pretty
really
amazing.
interesting.
And that's one of the biggest things, too. When I started, I didn't realize the equestrian lifestyle that goes on up here. I just wasn't, as far as I grew up and born and raised in Queensbury. Played sports. I wasn't really around horses, but there are a lot of people, whether it's farm and the farm life type of thing, or just enjoy having a horse and going riding. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And use chiropractic for their horses.
Right. Too. Yeah. Who knew? So that's awesome. And, speaking of misconceptions, a lot of us are thinking like, oh, you go to a chiropractor, to crack your back. And what does that even mean? Right. But that's what people think.
Yeah.
So, really, what is chiropractic care?
So it's based around the nervous system. So we talk about the cracking and popping, and there is some of that goes on for sure. But with the adjustment, that pop or crack that people might feel, what it's doing is putting bones back into alignment. So you have 24 bones in your spine. They all have to work independently but together with one another.
Yeah.
Things can move out of place. We can develop restrictions, loss of range of motion. And when that happens, we start to put pressure on the nervous system. So your brain, your spinal cord comes down through those bones, and then the nerves exit out of the spine, and they go down to every part of your body. So people can feel, we talk about sciatica. I think that's one of the most common ones that people know, but that you can have a disc or a nerve being pinched in the lumbar spine that sends pain down into the legs. We know that there's not a problem with the leg. Some people don't. They'll come in and think they're having knee or leg pain when it's really coming from their low back.
Right.
But the neck functions the same way. The nerves in our neck go up into our head, so it can develop into headaches for people. Mm-hmm. And also you can have that same type of, sciatica, if you will, but a pinched nerve in the neck sending pain and different symptoms down into the arm. Yeah.
It's really fascinating to me. I watch a lot of shows on, like Discovery and all that stuff. You think you understand your body, but you really don't, right? It's why we rely on professionals like you. But everything is connected.
Yes.
So like you said, if you have a pain in your arm, it could actually be stemming from somewhere else in your body. And
I think Western medicine has had a thing too where it, and I'm not knocking it whatsoever. I think there's a time and a place for everything, but it's kind of ingrained us to start believing in our body as all these different symptoms, when what you just said, that it all works together. And the one system that governs every other system in the body is the nervous system. If you don't have that neurological supply going to an organ or a muscle or a piece of skin, you're going to develop a symptom, whether it's a sensation or a motor deficit. You're going to develop a symptom. So it all relates back to the nervous system, making sure that's functioning properly primarily.
So when we think of chiropractic care and we think of bones, it's really so much more than that. It's really about the nervous system.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. See, I knew I was going to learn something today. So, you mentioned how you kind of got introduced to chiropractic care. It was riding the motorcycle and realizing, maybe your posture wasn't good and taking the wallet out of your back pocket. Yes. So that's a good example of why someone should see a chiropractor, right? They're in pain. They're like, I need to figure this out. But are there other reasons to see a chiropractor?
Yeah, I mean, a lot, and again, like I said, I think a lot of people start with me for pain, whether depending on whatever it is for that person. But just general wellness. I use the analogy a lot. That chiropractic's a lot like going to the gym. Getting back to what we do nowadays, we're all ready for that instantaneous relief, whether it's a pain relief or a symptom relief in our body. We want the pill, we want the surgery. Where chiropractic, again, functions like the gym, and that most people would inherently know that if you went to the gym for 1 or 2 days and you didn't go back for 2 weeks and you went again, and you're not going to really see the gains that you want to make. And chiropractic functions that same way. It's making natural changes to the body, making sure that we're putting things back into position. They hold that position, and the nervous system can stay clear. So there's a lot of different reasons why people should see a chiropractor. But again, I think with right now and kind of the time we're in, a lot of people come with the neck pain, back pain, headaches.
Absolutely.
Which is enough.
Right.
But I think if other people realize maybe I just had this conversation with somebody today. She had headaches going on, low back pain, and rib pain. And she came in, and you can sense the skepticism sometimes when people come in.
Sure.
She has had zero migraines. I've seen her for probably 2 months. She has no migraines. The rib pain's completely gone, and low back pain is good. And that comes from a couple of different things. Yes, the adjustments and what we do. Yep. Also the teaching on the outside of there, and what you've hit on a couple of times is the posture and ergonomics and how people do and what they're doing all day long. Yeah. We develop habits, and it could be something as simple as how we sit in the same spot or the same couch or chair, and how we lean one way versus another. And when we do that day after day, week after week, month after month, it adds up, and compensation builds up in the body, and that's also something we can help with.
Absolutely. I believe it. Now, would you recommend, because you see a lot of clients, they're all unique with their own challenges, but would you recommend other practices to complement your care, such as exercise, physical therapy, things like that?
I think it all works really well together.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people going to massage therapists in town.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Working together with physical therapists has always been a big one. We do a lot of people group us together. I'm not sure what that is, but it's either I'm going to go to chiro or I'm going to go to PT.
Okay.
And maybe it's insurance driven, like you can't do one or
Could be.
whatever. But I think they work really well together because we do completely different things. So I enjoy when people are doing PT and they're working on strength and stretching and range of motion and then coming to me to get things put back to where they need to be. And then on the outside of all of that, when they're at home, the awareness to what and how they're doing it it plays a big role in people getting better faster.
Sure. And one of the things I've noticed about this region, because I'm not originally from here, so, I've got an outside perspective, is, self-care, healthcare, wellness is a huge, people love that up here, which is wonderful. And we have so many amazing providers, a lot of them family owned, right? So I think we're very fortunate in this region to have all of that available to us. And yours being one of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. I think it's time for us to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back on I'm In with the ARCC.
Hi, my name is David Cohen. As a project engineer at StoreTech, I focus on upgrading and improving technology that businesses rely on to be efficient and eliminate boundaries to productivity. What's different about StoreTech is the dedication to their customers and down-to-earth approach to IT. Our only agenda is to make life easier for you and your employees and allow you to focus on what's important. It's a true pleasure to be a part of StoreTech. I leave work with a real sense of pride knowing I'm part of such a wonderful team of enthusiastic people with unmatched knowledge and experience. Call us today at 518-793-1111 and see how our team can elevate your business to the next level.
And now, back to I'm In with the ARCC. Here's your host, Amanda Blanton.
And we're back. Thanks again for tuning in to I'm In with the ARCC, sponsored by StoreTech, your technology, our passion. And I'm here with Dr. Jeff Sawyer of Sawyer Family Chiropractic. Thanks again, Jeff, for being here and sharing with us a little bit of your background and, really talking through what chiropractic care really is, right?
It's my pleasure, yeah.
Because a lot of people you mentioned it, a lot of people are a little hesitant, right? Maybe a little scared. They don't really understand what it is. Because again, in my mind, I'm picturing someone's cracking me.
Right.
I'm sorry. You probably heard it all. I'm not a nut. Don't crack me. But it really is about the nervous system. I just want to really drive that home because there are activities that we all do on the daily that are probably damaging our nervous system, and we may not even realize it.
Correct.
Being sedentary is one of those.
Huge,
I think about myself. I think about everyone I know that works in an office, and we're sitting all day long. And it doesn't matter how often my watch reminds me to stand up, move around a bit, which that's great. But maybe it doesn't happen as often as it should.
Right.
And when we're sitting, we're not always sitting in a nice posture, right?
Right.
I'm sure you've seen it. But I'm thinking of myself. You probably have seen the very popular show, The Simpsons, you know, the Mr. Burns kind of posture. That's how I feel like I sit at a desk.
Yes. Everybody does.
Not good.
Yes.
Not good at all, right?
Right.
So I want to talk a little bit about that because that is a lot of our realities. I've heard the term tech neck.
Yes.
Right?
It's very real.
Yeah. Are you dealing a lot with that in your practice?
A lot. It actually really came on pretty big when COVID hit. And it wasn't the general demographic of, the 30, 40, 50-year-olds that are at a desk all day. That was still there.
Sure.
But the kids that went home and were doing homework on their beds, cross-legged, looking down at Chromebooks or on Zoom calls and all that different stuff, it was big. A lot of kids, teenage, high school age kids were coming in with neck pain, back pain, headaches, more in that upper part because it's that forward head posture, shoulders rounded over, kind of what you're describing. It's a lot of what I see is the daily wear and tear that just adds up until we get to a point where we're not moving and we don't feel good. Yeah. And it's astonishing how many people will just fight through that. Yeah, they're popping the ibuprofen. They're just getting through the day. And the pain and the tightness and the loss of range of motion, what you're feeling is your body's way of telling you something's going on. The ibuprofen, the painkillers, and whatever else are your way of shutting that check engine light, if you will, off.
Yeah, right. Putting the duct tape over it.
We're not fixing anything at that point. So when we start doing that, inevitably down the road, what you'll see is more spinal degeneration with disc compression and arthritis and bone spurring and different things, which are a lot harder to correct down the road than they are when it actually presents itself probably years earlier.
Yeah.
I see that's a huge one.
It might be one of the biggest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. The slips and falls and car accidents and stuff obviously come in. You see it. But the daily wear and tear where nobody can really put their thumb on exactly what happened is the bread and butter, if you will.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is chiropractic care is really maintenance.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, on your body.
Again, much like going to the gym, and that analogy holds true, is like if you went to the gym and you were diligent for 6 months and you lost the weight or you were able to do the marathon or whatever the goal was, if you stop going for the next 6 months, you're going to be right back to where you were. And that's kind of the idea. And I've heard, well, once you go to a chiropractor, you have to go forever. And it's true on some level. You don't have to.
Right.
But maybe you should, or maybe you should think about it to keep your spine in line so that we don't get to a point that we were already at.
Yeah.
Or get back to that point.
Or maybe it helps you realize your bad habits and how to change those, and you can get to a better position. Literally, physically,
You hit on it though. Correcting desk posture is a huge thing, and then also, people are going to work, and we all have different jobs. So there's some people that are, plumbers or whatever they do, that they just find themselves in weird positions throughout the day.
Yeah, of course.
There's not much they can do in those moments to help what they're doing.
Yeah, it's their job.
But when they get home at night and like trying to correct the couch and chair posture and how long we're seated for and really what we're doing and how long we're looking down at our cell phone, like when we can start raising awareness of that, people get it.
Sure.
And they start to feel it and they make the change that's necessary at that point.
Yeah. And I want to go back. You mentioned being an athlete yourself and kind of getting exposed to, this type of care. Is that very popular for athletes to seek out chiropractic care?
Yeah. Actually, that's when I was in chiropractic college, I was part of the sports club, which was the one club in school where you actually did outreach programs and you would go adjust to different things. So athletes was kind of always wanted to be a part of the athletic realm and helping athletes stay in the game. But once you get out and you open a business, you realize that maybe there's not enough athletes to run a business off of, if you will. So you start seeing everybody. And, I've come to the point where I realize that, my seniors that come in and I can make them get up and move and get to places where they want to be versus being stuck at home or being afraid that if they have to travel that they're going to be in pain for the next 4 days. Yeah. It gives them their life back too.
That's awesome.
Same thing with same thing with kids, whatever that might be for them. But yes, I work with the Adirondack Thunder, so I still get my athletes coming in and get more of that type of care. But the other side of that too is chiropractic care stays the same, right? It's to assess the spine, assess the person, see what's going on, and then make sure that we're making the right adjustments. And that's what it comes back to is the nervous system, and it's the same for an athlete or same for my 98-year-old.
Sure. Now, I know this is a very broad question with a bunch of answers, but when should someone seek chiropractic care?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the shorter answer is now was a good time for most people to get checked and make sure that we're not having something going on that, is going to rear its head in 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Let's get ahead of it.
Yep.
But I think for the most people, they're going to need something, pain or loss of the ability to do something that they want to do before they really seek care, which sometimes is too late. Sometimes we can get them back enough to get them doing what they want to do, but it's sooner rather than later, I guess would be the best answer.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. So let's talk about your practice, right? And for someone who has never sought out chiropractic care, they give your office a call. What happens next?
So, right from the start, they'll end up getting a text with the intake paperwork, setting up a first appointment. When they come in for a first appointment, it's a history, kind of trying to understand what's going on. I have x-ray on site, so I'll take images if needed. Most people, I like to see what's going on so I can know what I'm working with.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I've been surprised, right? Like you have some people come in and they're 70 and you're like, this person has to have a lot of, and you take a picture and it looks pretty good. Like things are okay. And I've had it the other way where they're younger and you would assume that there's not as much going on, but for some reason take a picture, there's fine, and it's not
as good as you thought.
Not in its ideal state. So we'll get pictures just so I can understand what's going on. First visit, depending on what's going on, we may adjust, we may not. For the most part, we try to adjust and get people heading down that road. Second visit, when people come back and it gives me time to have looked over their x-rays, we talk what normal is. So I have pictures of like what normal spines look like, kind of the general process of what the spine looks like as it's degenerating and heading toward, being not something we can deal with. And then we compare that to their x-ray so they can understand what they're at. We talk biomechanics, ergonomics, posture for the outside. So when they're home, they understand. They can have a picture in their mind's eye of like what they should and how they should be doing it.
Yeah.
And set up a treatment plan and get people better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty easy.
It's nice. It's nice to help.
And let's talk about your location, which for most people listening to the show is probably going to be pretty convenient. So where is your practice located?
It's 123 Quaker Road. It's on the corner of Country Club and Quaker. It's the brick building directly across from O'Toole's.
Nice. Easy peasy.
It is.
Awesome. And how should we get in touch with your office if we're interested in learning more?
Yeah, so you can call or text 518-223-0118. That text will either go right to the front desk. You can call, obviously get somebody on the phone and set up your appointment that way too.
Awesome. And Jeff, last question. What would you want to say to people who are just like, I'm not quite sure if I want to give them a call, that the hesitancy is still there?
Yeah, I think life begins at the edge of your comfort zone.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So maybe let's step outside a little bit. If the pills and stuff that you've been trying for years haven't been working, like what do you have to lose? It's one of those things that I do help a lot of people that have come out of more of a medical based mindset and background that they get help.
Yeah.
When stuff that, just adjusting chemistry of our body with pills doesn't help, the mechanical side of it can. So
that's fair.
Give it a shot.
Well put.
I'm not scary. I try not to be
scary. No, you're not at all. Oh my gosh. You've put me at ease this entire conversation. So thank you. I appreciate you, again, sharing your story. And you've impacted so many lives here in our region and continue to do so, which is awesome.
Yes.
So great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. That's all the time we have for today on I'm In with the ARCC. Be sure to tune in next week.